Okay, in this problem, we are going to be adding two polynomials together. In this case, the two polynomials we're adding will be a binomial and a trinomial. So this is a binomial because you have two terms. So the first is going to be a binomial. Our second is a trinomial, 1, 2, 3 terms. So keep in mind, terms are separated by addition and subtraction signs. And the sign goes with the term behind it. So the number in front of our variable, that's our coefficient, and the sign and the coefficient go with the variable directly behind it. Now to add polynomials, as it says above, we will drop the parentheses and combine like terms. All right, so looking at my first parenthesis, I have negative 5x squared minus 6x. For my second, I'm going to drop the parentheses. As there's not a sign between them, I'm going to let that plus sign stick with the 2x squared. And if it were a subtraction, I'll have a video on that, so watch that one as well. It'll be a little different. But you must have a sign separating your different terms to indicate that they're separate. So if there's not a sign, there's an understood plus that we will write when it is behind another term. Now, to combine like terms have the same variable raised to the same power. So we're going to go through our problem, identify our like terms. We have a negative 5x squared and we have a positive 2x squared. So these are two like terms because they have the same variable x raised to the same power of 2. Now to add them or to combine like terms, and I can bring it down even if you want. You don't have to do this, but if it's easier for you just to kind of look at those two together, go ahead and do that. So looking at these, when we add or subtract, or when we combine like terms, we will be adding or subtracting the coefficients in front, keeping our variable the same. We don't change the variable. So this is saying, hey, I've got negative 5 of my x squared. I have positive 2 of my x squared. Putting that together, you're just going to add or subtract as indicated. Negative 5 plus 2 would give me a negative 3. And you keep your x squared the same. You do not change your variable. Now, for my next piece, I have a negative 6x and a positive, and this would be considered a 1x. So if there's not a coefficient, it's understood to be 1. And that's like our default condition, kind of. So if it's not there, we know that it's going to just be one of those. Now, again, these are like terms because we have x, and there's not a power, but that's understood to be 1 as well. That's our default on the power. So looking at these two, adding or subtracting the coefficients, but keeping our variable the same, negative 6 plus 1 would give me negative 5, and we keep the x. And our last piece right here, we have a 2, negative 2, right? This is a constant term. It would have degree 0. There's not a variable on it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to bring that minus 2 down. If there had been another number or constant, we would have combined them. But in this case, there is not. We stop at this point. So make sure you understand where to stop when we're solving these problems. When you have at most one of each type of your term, so in this case we have an x squared, an x to the first, and this one does not have an x present, a constant, then we stop here.